When you think of a planet, you think of a sun. The two concepts are permanently linked in our minds. A planet is a world warmed by a star, locked in a predictable, stable orbit, ticking away the days and years like a cosmic clock. But what if you took the sun away? Imagine a world exactly like Earth. It has mountains, oceans, and an atmosphere. But its sky is completely pitch black. There is no daytime. There are no seasons. The surface temperature is hundreds of degrees below zero, and the oceans are frozen solid. This dead, frozen world is not orbiting anything. It is tumbling silently through the empty void of interstellar space, completely alone in the dark. Astronomers call these objects rogue planets, and until very recently, we didn't know they existed. For a long time, we assumed that planets could only form around stars, and that they stayed there. But in the last 2 decades, as our telescopes have become infinitely more powerful, we started noticing gravitational anomalies in the dark patches of the Milky Way. We started seeing the faint thermal signatures of worlds that had no business being there. When astrophysicists ran the numbers, the results were staggering. They realized that rogue planets are not a rare cosmic mistake. They are the norm. Current estimates suggest that there are trillions of rogue planets drifting through the Milky Way galaxy. In fact, there might be more rogue planets wandering the dark than there are stars in the sky. It is a terrifying paradigm shift. The universe is not a collection of organized, neatly lit solar systems. It is a chaotic, dark ocean filled with trillions of invisible, heavy monsters drifting through the deep. So, where did all these dark worlds come from? The birth of a solar system is a violent, chaotic process. Billions of years ago, when our own sun was just a swirling disk of gas and dust, dozens of protoplanets were forming at the same time. The gravity in this crowded neighborhood was intensely unstable. Planets were constantly pulling on each other, altering their orbits, and playing a cosmic game of billiards. If a smaller planet swings too close to a massive gas giant like Jupiter, the gravitational slingshot effect is catastrophic. The smaller planet is violently accelerated past the escape velocity of the star. It is literally kicked out of the solar system, banished into the freezing void, never to return. Our solar system likely ejected several of its own siblings during its early years. Those lost brothers of Earth are still out there right now, drifting through the Milky Way, frozen in eternal night. But a rogue planet is not just a tragic story of banishment, it is a potential threat. Because there are trillions of them, and because they emit absolutely no visible light, they are the ultimate stealth projectiles. We can only spot them through a process called gravitational microlensing, watching for the exact moment their gravity slightly bends the light of a distant star behind them. It is like looking for a black mosquito in the dark against a black wall. This means a rogue planet could be drifting through our immediate cosmic neighborhood right now, and we wouldn't see it coming until it was right on top of us. If a rogue planet the size of Jupiter entered our solar system, the results would be apocalyptic. It wouldn't even need to hit the Earth. Gravity does the killing for it. As the massive dark world drifts through our system, its gravity would disrupt the delicate balance of the planets. It could pull Jupiter out of its orbit. It could alter the trajectory of millions of asteroids, sending a shotgun blast of space rocks directly toward Earth. Worst of all, if it passed too close to us, it could act exactly like the slingshots that formed it. Earth could be violently ripped out of its orbit around the Sun. If Earth were ejected from the solar system, we wouldn't die instantly. It would be a slow, agonizing fade. Over the course of a few months, the sun in our sky would shrink to a distant, bright star. The global temperature would plummet, the oceans would freeze over, trapping humanity under a layer of impenetrable ice. The atmosphere itself would eventually freeze and fall to the ground as nitrogen snow. But in the darkest twist of cosmic irony, a rogue planet might not just be a bringer of death, it might actually be a sanctuary. Astrophysicists believe that if a rogue planet is massive enough or has a thick enough atmosphere of hydrogen, it might retain the heat of its own internal core. Deep beneath miles of frozen surface ice, geothermal vents could keep a subsurface ocean in a liquid state. This means that out there, in the deepest, darkest void of interstellar space, trillions of miles from the nearest star, there could be dark, warm oceans teeming with alien life. Blind creatures swimming in the absolute pitch black, living out their entire evolutionary history, completely unaware that the rest of the universe even exists. We used to look up at the stars and wonder if we were alone. But the discovery of rogue planets forces us to look at the empty black spaces between the stars. The universe isn't just vast, it is crowded, and most of its inhabitants are walking in the dark.